prayed at the Garden of Gethsemane, Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass over me. But if the cup has passed over him, you and I will not be here today. Do you agree with me? Thank God he took the cup. And because he took that very bitter cup, we are saved. Glory to his name. So sometimes suffering is to fulfill God's purpose. Comparison with the coming glory that will be revealed in us. Romans 8:18. The Christian answer to evil is therefore not immediate explanation, but assured consummation. Concluding theological affirmations. God's existence is coherent, rational, and grounded. Evil does not originate in God, but in the misuse of creaturely freedom and the fallenness of creation. John strongly affirms that God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. 1 John chapter 1, verse 5. Christians are not exempt from suffering. Rather, suffering is integral to discipleship. God is present in suffering, supremely revealed in the crucified Christ. The ultimate defeat of evil lies in God's eschatological renewal of all things. Christian theology therefore does not deny the reality of evil, nor does it surrender the goodness of God. It holds both in faithful tension under the lordship of Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Can we please appreciate our dear doctor again? Thank you for the presentation. We appreciate you. And for those who are taking notes, you notice that what he's been talking about is something that is happening in the church today. So, we have seen a couple of things happen in the church, but this particular one is very germane to our faith. You are seeing a brother, a sister, who's very committed in the church. He's praying, he's fasting, you see him do all the things that, workers are doing in the church. He's committed, yet this brother or sister experience what is known as the problem of evil. We're still going to be talking much about that. And you ask yourself, God, where are you when this brother, while traveling, engaged in a ghastly accident and he died? And some of us, we see a sister that is dedicated, fasting and praying. We know that this person loves God. And then this person in the delivery room died with a child. And we ask the question, God, where are you? It's a question of why do we have bad things happening to good people? Or why do we have bad things happening to Christians? These are questions that our members are asking. And these are questions that our children are asking, if they are already not asking. Praise the Lord. So what our dear doctor is addressing is something that we already have within the church. We can no longer ignore this. We need to begin to answer this question, because this particular incident has led a lot of people out of the Christian faith. I know some people today that will say that, where was God when my husband had the cancer? Why can't God heal that cancer? My husband was very much committed. Where was God when he did all of that? I'm not going to be answering that question because it's one of the questions that our dear facilitator will be answering today. So please, we're going to be doing so much more today. So we'll be going into the next phase, which is the phase of our dear facilitator engaging with the first presentation for today. But please, I want you to welcome our dear doctor, our leader of Anchor Leadership Academy, as he introduces our facilitator.
Thank you very much, Pastor Kwede. The Lord bless you. I remember vividly what you were saying, Pastor Kwede. One of my seniors, when I was in the Polytechnic, he married before us, very committed, president of a fellowship, leader at the fellowship when we were in Polytechnic. At the university level, at UI, he was the president of the fellowship. I won't mention the name of fellowship. He got married 7-8 years, no fruit of the womb. But the year that the wife got pregnant, he has an accident and the woman died. So I was there I don't know what I can preach to console him. He used to be my leader in the fellowship. Then he asked me, said, Bro Mike, I said, sir. He said, you can't console me. He said, these are your children. This is your wife. Unfortunately, again, I went with my wife and my children. He said, this is your wife and your children. He said, you can't console me. He said, where was God? Married for many years, waited for so long, and the wife died with a fetus at 8 years. Very committed sister, a lover of God. Those are some of the questions all of us are asking. A pastor that the firstborn died, secondborn died, the thirdborn died, the only 3 children. So join me as I want to welcome our guest speaker, Steve. You know, these are, if you give the opportunity, many of us will ask questions. But please be writing down your question, because we're going to have breakout sections. And we're going to have presentation from each of the sections. That why would God permit all these things? Let me give you an example again. When I was a district pastor here, we had a very painful experience. One of our deacons, the wife and the husband, they traveled and they have children but never returned. And people were asking, why is God so wicked? No, let's be sincere. And they have children, small children. And that day, the church promised heaven and earth, but I don't know how far the church has gone with them. But you know our experience in Africa, when people promise or the day of something, that's the end. Husband and wife, committed Christian. Okay, let me give you another one. We used to have a deacon, not in this church, but in our district. He has property in different places, and he gave the best one to God for church, local church. Free. And the other one, the day he packed into the house, he fell sick and never returned to work like 2 years, and he died. When we were there to console the wife, he was asking us, said, in what way have we wronged God? Are you with me? So these are terrible situations that we as human beings, that most time Christians have asked questions. And you see many of our songwriters, I mean indigenous songwriters, I've used it to sing at different points. So join me as I welcome Dr. Steve Van On as a brother and a friend. Wow.
Thank you, brother.
You know why I like it so much? Do you know why? You can't tell him anything you can't defend from the Bible. Am I correct? Am I correct? He was here 2008 and we celebrated his 70th birthday here in Lagos. Am I correct?
Yes.
So it's 78 this year. Am I correct?
Yes.
Then I was asking 2 days ago, when are you going to retire and stop all this traveling? He can't answer. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few extra minutes, so I'd like to introduce myself to you and my family. I came to Africa the first time 28 years ago, January 1988, to teach one class. But during those weeks, God changed my whole focus in ministry, and I've been coming back ever since. I started as a professor at a seminary only 2 times a year, but I started meeting students. One of them is your countryman, Dr. Nathan Jeroma, who was in Jos. He invited me to Jos in 2001, so my first trip to Nigeria was 25 years ago. And I've been here many times. The cities I remember, I've been to Gusau, Akui, Lu, Lagos. Those are the ones I remember. So I've been all over the country. And I've been married, I tell you a little bit, just the first 20 years of my ministry here in Africa. My focus was giving pastors Bible theology training and training in preaching, primarily pastors who had never gone to school and who would probably never go to school. So I did that. I was paid to work with pastors in about 14 or 15 different African countries, and it's been a blessing. That was the first 20 years. For the last 6 years, God has changed my focus in my senior years to the younger generation. We are in a position to preparing the next generation of leaders for the church for Africa, Nigeria, and even we're responsible for that. And this generation faces challenges that we didn't face in our talk. And they have many questions that we need to be prepared to answer. And that is why we are here today. And today is only going to be an introduction. There is so much more that can be said. But before I get into my family, if this works the way it's supposed to. Yep. Did I go the wrong way? I thought, yeah, here we go. That's what I wanted to show you. I've been married to one woman. Just one, 56 years. Yeah, we had our anniversary just about 2 weeks ago. 56 years. And God has blessed us with 2 children, they're both girls. And firstborn daughter has 4 children, and they're all girls. My second daughter, and they're both girls. My oldest granddaughter has 2 children, and they're both girls. My number 3 granddaughter has 2 children, yes, and they're both girls. My number 2, how many think they're both girls? You gotta vote. How many think they're both girls? Okay, not many of you. How many think it's a boy and girl? How many think it's 2 boys? How many did not vote? My number 2 granddaughter has 2 boys. So 1 wife, 2 daughters, 6 granddaughters, 4 great-granddaughters, and 2 great-grandsons. And so we're fortunate to live close to one another. And so we saved our money and took a 3-day holiday to spend 3 days together just having fun at this place that has all these fancy rides, and just had a lot of fun as a family. So that's my family, and they are with you. They know what's going on. They're praying for you. I come up to Kate in the morning and in the evening and tell her what's happening. So they have you and know what's going on here. What I'm going to talk about in this first talk is an introduction to apologetics. An introduction to apologetics, and this is in your notes. And our first speaker, Dr. Michael, he talked a little bit about the meaning of apologetics, and we're going to look at that. Here's a picture that I want you to look and think about, because so many times when the idea of apologetics is mentioned, if you look on YouTube, it is apologetics. You might see 2 people sitting across the table from each other debating. One saying there is love, one saying there is God, and debating with each other. Or you may see 2 people debating on whether the universe was created through evolution and not the universe was created by a supreme being God. And you see this debate. Or you might see a debate between a Christian and a Muslim about which religion is true. And so when the idea of apologetics comes up, many times it's a monster saying, I can't debate a Muslim. I can't debate this scientist who thinks that the universe was created through evolution. I can't debate this because there is no God and has all of the reasons to he believes that or she believes that. But what I want to do here right at the beginning is to help you relax when you think about apologetics. As already has been mentioned, in Peter 3:15, Peter wrote, "But sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts, open defense to everyone who asks you to give an account for the hope that is in you, yet with gentleness and reverence." And so you see I have the words "make a defense" underlined. That's the idea of doing apologetics, as the first speaker mentioned. In the Greek, the idea of making a defense is a Greek word apologia. And in English, we get the word apology. We're not apologizing for the Christian faith, but it could mean that. It also means to give a reason. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had anybody ask you a question about Christianity? Why does God allow evil? Has anybody ever asked you that? Why does good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? Has anyone ever asked? Why is there so much suffering in the world? That's a question that you've been asked. Have you tried to give an answer? If you have tried to answer any of those questions, you are doing apologetics. So we ask questions about the Christian faith. How do you know God exists? How do you know that the universe was created by God? And so anytime we're asked a question like that, and we give an answer, or try to give an answer, we're doing apologetics. Everybody in this room has practiced apologetics, which makes you an apologist. So many times when we think of the word apologist, without giving a definition, people say this term has, alongside of Ephesians 4, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers, and apologists. Well, it's not there, but we're all apologists. If you try to give an answer, we're doing apologetics. So you understand? So apologetics then is giving a reason, giving a reasonable, rational, logical answer to a question. And all of those adjectives are important. Reasonable, rational, logical, biblical. When we're asked a question, and we give an answer, sometimes that answer is not very good. It's not logical, it's not rational, it's not even biblical. And so a bad answer is worse than no answer. It's better to say, I don't know. I just make an answer and a bad answer. So we're going to help you give a good answer, a reasonable answer, a biblical answer to the questions that people are asking. So what we're doing apologetics when we are defending, explaining why it is logical, and showing how it best explains what is happening in everyday living. That's what apologetics is all about. It's defending what Christianity claims to be true, explaining why it's logical, and showing what's happening in everyday living. And we're going to be talking about these things today. Here's an informal definition. Apologetics is presenting the why behind the what. The why behind the what. Let me give you an example. We say, God exists. Amen? How do you believe by this? Can you know behind the what? Well, the Bible says he exists. How do you know the Bible is reliable? Can you give an answer to that? And so it's learned, why do you believe that Jesus was crucified for sins and rose from the dead? Amen? Why do you believe that? Can you explain why you believe that is true? Can we just take it by faith? Or can you explain the why behind the what? So doing apologetics is being able to present the why behind the what. I was asking some of these kinds of questions. And I said, I grew up in a Christian, went to church every week, as he went to Christian school, but when he got out of his parents' house and went on his own, and he started questioning all of the Christianity taught. And I said, did it ever, your Christianity is true? He said, not really. It's not with you. When you go home, the next time you see your parents, ask them this question. Why do you believe that Christianity is true? What do you think they'll say? What do you think your father will say? Because Jesus is smart. He may think that's an answer. You answer in your case. There's something that I'll change up. And you can say that if it's witness or a Mormon or an Adventist or even one who believes in the New Age, traditional religions. You ask them and they'll say, oh, it changed my life. So just saying that your religion changed my life behind the block. You need to be more than just feelings. Apologetics is presented why behind the block. And our task is to demonstrate the truthfulness of the Christian religion, and that by doing so, many people return to Jesus, who is the way, the truth, and the life. We are to demonstrate the truthfulness of the Christian religion in a world of religious confusion. What we need to practice apologetics today. It's a biblical mandate. Peter wrote in 3:15, we are here to give a reason, to give an answer for us. Verse 10, Come to that page, but here's what it says. It says, if you're being accused, be ready to defense. If you write this, Nero was Felicians to lions, and Christians on the garden. That was well, I think that's how we make defense. And in that letter, the things in just each other. So we have to practice politics to command we then take an answer to fit. You have to look back, letter change, Revelation. Said to write the letter about common section. And also to challenge me to how do we need to be content? That needs to struggle. So we need to be able to for faith. 77 verses 45 out of 10 strong. You can't say, stronghold. It's not how to do it. I need to be some context about. It says we're to tear down strongholds, and every lofty thing that is raised up against the knowledge, they will embrace the truth of Christianity. And so we're going to give an answer. We need to contend for the faith, which is some ideas about God and Christianity that are out in the world. That's what being apologetic is. It's biblically. You can explain the faith. Here's how it does. Let me answer one question. How do you exist? How do you know the day of the universe? How do you know the existence for them? Also, I third talk, we're going to talk about that. Some of the things they may be asking is why does the good loving God allow such persecution in Nigeria for radical Muslims? Who in the South and decisions? How do you know how to handle us? And do research, you have to think about that. And it's got biblical, rational, biblical answers, and that strengthens your faith. And so if somebody question, and you don't get an answer, but let's together look at that answer. But if there's only too many of us, that's too humiliating to say that answer. So because say if they put that in Washington, they don't want to make up an answer. They want a conversation. They want defense. That's Christian. It's really true. But it's straight out of the Bible. That's it. But you have to do that. We use the Bible. And this is my second thought today. Talking more about it. Talk about the reviews. Little things. Conversion. Where we find life. There's something about the guy. That was really funny. It's from the point of view. It's evangelism. And before we get into talking about the gospel, a conversation in the section of Christian. Yes. You go to church? Yes. You know, I have a question about that. We have Muslims living next door, and you're a Christian. Why should I accuse Christianity of Islam? So that may be a question that comes before you get to the gospel, and you need to be ready to answer. So, it's a part of evangelism, but it's also a part of actual evangelism. Because you're not saying, I make them say, God, that you're talking about, because my idea is, and they start talking about the gospel, that's not that. It's ready in invasion to get it again. And so again, so it does means, what do I need to make this? The rest is being eaten. They say that the efforts of operation, you might remember the answer, pray for religion, and take something in church. And so questions of goodness of Christianity. It's a good. So there really is just one traditional view of religion, Christianity, what's the culture is yours. What is this not? So much more. It is absolutely true. It's true. Saying it's absolute. Is that statement absolute? See, the whole religion group, that's why it's like, I believe, it's philosophical, not love, kind of the idea of God. That's the first place. What's it say? Nelson, it's a no mixture. Now, perhaps the issue we have is, we need to go about the animals. That's why we're talking about God. No, the supernatural. So we go with the miracles. You about, human is scientism. By unity. No, it's not method. Feels true. There's one there as well. There's not showing true. That's a beginning statement. True. Beginning statement. B2B science. Another thing. Five. We have that other thing that says, stating out to demonstrate our spiritual, this world, not taking the touch, but the spirit of it. So, I studies doing that. And five, the church needs us. We've talked a little bit already about national reservation. And it's our responsibility to have means. That's our responsibility. One day, we're going to have to count how we perish to New England. Are you thinking about that your ministry? Because that's something we're before. It's like in a meeting, I'm not going to hand off to the next runner. With the case. Also, Timothy, the thing you put for being president of the United States, pass on to faith in the nation of the soul. You got faith in the energy. You have 4 channels now. Somebody's talking about handing the Timothy. You're going to see it all. I got it from it. Third, the circle. That makes all the you're the difference. This is going on since the beginning of the church. And it's our responsibility to prepare the next generation and give it to whatever cultures that they're already facing. So challenges their faces at university education. There's an organization in the U.S. The Apologetic organization that is on 150 U.S. campuses. Also, that's it. We don't have to say this. That's our universities. This is that's our universities. And so that's why this is great. They'll be taught public. They'll be taught everything. About government, about one another. And so we want to be very careful because the university come back, they may bring that philosophy. So it's a real challenge. Raise the church, raise the church, Christian school, and the university says science. Because it's challenge the university. In our homes, Christian school, secondary school, going to the university, maybe some Bible schools, professors, you want to tell your Christian Christianity is true. Certain reasons why Christianity is true. They don't have an answer. Because they did not believe in the answer. They've always said, this is true, accept it, don't have to accept it. I'm just making that at this point. So my challenge to us, to make our churches, a safe place to ask questions. You need to welcome that. You need to erase that. You need to ask the questions, ask the concerns, so they have a strong foundation for faith. If you should not do that, not only that, they'll look someplace else. And if the answers that they get, actually you see, and church, little New York City, people in the history there. And he had arms, where he would have to church, invite non-Christians to meet. They become less gathered with him. About some object topic, and any question at all, he asked for the object at all. He's a national, humble, gracious